Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us bright and early for some yoga. I'm so excited to have Portland-based yoga instructor Ashley Flowers here with us today. A few notes on what you can expect in today's session. You are welcome to keep your camera on or turn your camera on if you would like to be really present with our yoga session. If you have any questions, concerns, issues, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the session. And I'm not going to say any more. I am just going to turn it over to Ashley to get us started this morning.
Hi, folks. I'm Ashley Flowers. I'm so happy to see you all here. I love yoga, and I hope that you will too shortly. And so just a couple things for you to think about. So yoga truly can be for every body. If you have a body, you can do yoga. My plan is to do a practice laying down this morning because that tends to be a nice, accessible, sweet place to start the morning from. Please, if there's anybody who cannot lay down on your back on the ground or on the couch, feel free to drop that in the chat and Katie will let me know and I can adjust accordingly. My little caveat that I like to give is that yoga in its truest form is the art and science of self-realization. You're just here to get to know yourself a little better. And so everything else that you do is a side benefit. Any stretching or strengthening or mobilizing, those are all like extra benefits on your journey of getting to know yourself. So if you want to turn your video on, if you're like, I don't know how to do yoga and I'd love it if you would tell me if I'm doing something wrong, you're welcome to turn your video on. And otherwise you're welcome to keep it off and just kind of practice in the kind of comfort of obscurity there. So I think without further ado, we will get started. And Katie, if you're out there, if you just want to pin my big video where you can see the yoga mat to make it easier for people to see me, that would be great. And we will go ahead and lay down on the mat. Yeah. So you can go ahead and come to lay down. And if you need a little cushion under your head or a thin little blanket, you're welcome to put something under your head. And if that's not comfortable, you just bring your head right down to the ground. As you come to lay down, it's nice maybe to start with the knees bent. That's a really sweet way to start. Feeling the weight of your body pressing against the earth. Taking a moment to tune into your breath. If you're comfortable breathing in and out through your nose has all sorts of beautiful structures in it to slow your breath down, to filter and warm the air. If that's not comfortable for any reason, absolutely breathe through your mouth. See if you can feel a couple really deep breaths, filling your torso up with air. As you inhale, push the belly out, dragging the breath all the way down into the bottom of the lungs. As you exhale, see if you can give a gentle squeeze of the belly, drawing your abdominal muscles in towards the center of your body. Good. From here, if it feels comfortable, you could consider stretching your legs out nice and long. Good. If you try to stretch the legs out long and it feels pinchy in your low back, by all means, keep the knees bent. Good. Take a nice big inhale. See if you can just feel the openness on the front of the hips. Laying stretched out nice and long on the ground is a Really great way to bring all the muscles into a neutral shape. Good, we'll start to move whenever you feel ready. Remember, if there's anything that doesn't feel good, you're welcome to just stay in a resting position and imagine your body going through the poses. Nice. Inhale. Reach the arms out long overhead. Taking a big long stretch from hips to hands or from feet to hands. With an exhale, really squeeze your navel down to your spine. Squeeze your ribs down and in. Notice if that changes the stretch in the shoulders at all. And then with an exhale, either step the feet to the floor or curl the knees all the way into the chest if that's comfortable. You might just take a little rock on your back, side to side. Good, again, and then if it's comfortable, you're gonna try stretching both legs up to the sky. If your legs are really tight, you might not be able to straighten your legs all the way, that's fine. See if you can just work that pressing of the heels towards the sky. Good, additionally, if your legs are a little tight, this might be a big belly workout for you, which is great. So you can stick with that if it feels good. Might feel nice to give the backs of the legs a little rub, or maybe a little tap. Or you could simply hold the legs or let the legs just hang in space. If it feels nice, go ahead and give your toes a little wiggle. Some little circles with the ankles. Exhale, bend your left knee and set your left foot on the ground, working just that right leg for a moment. Bringing the hands wherever you can reach on the leg. That can be low or high or all the way up to the foot. And then we're going to try giving a little press. The leg pushes into the hands and the hands push back into the leg. It's called facilitated stretching. We engage the muscles to get a little deeper stretch. With an exhale, slowly sweep that right leg down to the ground. Bring your right hand to the front of your right hip. And just make some little circles, rubbing your hand over the front of the hip, circling over the joint with your hand. Remember, yoga is the art and science of getting to know yourself. We're trying to connect with that sense of self. Everything else is a side benefit. All right, we'll do a little bit of abdominal work here. Bring the hands to your belly. Take a big inhale. See if you can feel your belly move under your hands. Exhale, squeeze your belly down and in like a corset. Everything draws into the midline. And then with an inhale, try lifting that right leg up into the air. Feel the belly work. Exhale, nice and slow. Let your right leg float down to the ground. Good. Couple nice big deep breaths. I really like core work in this idea of getting to know ourselves, right? As we try to get connected to the self, we're trying to kind of get to the core of our essence, yeah? I think abdominal work has a really kind of fun way of helping us get there. So you're lifting and lowering that leg, inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Abdominal work can be quite challenging. Good, and I think we really often start to figure out who we are in our deepest way when we challenge the body a little bit. So you notice how the body responds. You notice how your mind responds. Trying to do that all without judgment, with a sense of self-love and acceptance. Keep that movement going. See if you can really activate the foot, either kicking through the heel or reaching through the toe. Good. Next time that right leg lifts up into the air, bring the hands to the back of the leg again. See if you can Hold the leg anywhere that feels comfortable and give another little facilitated stretch. Leg pushes into the hands as the hands push back into the leg. And then exhale, float that right leg back down to the ground. Hug your left knee up into your chest. Grab a hold of your left leg with your hands. That could be your shin or your thigh, whatever feels comfortable. Squeezing that left leg in towards the belly just as much as feels nice. Trying to wiggle your shoulders down away from your ears and press your shoulder blades and your upper arm bones into the floor. All right, we're going to take a really gentle twist here. You're going to stretch your left arm out to the left. And then if it feels comfortable for your body to twist, you're going to slowly start to roll that left leg over towards the right side of your mat. Yeah, it could be a really small movement, just a little movement, or a really big movement. Listen to your body. First rule of yoga, listen to your body. Second rule of yoga, listen to your body. Third rule, in case you forget 1 and 2, listen to your body. Good, that's all we ask. Nice and slow. Bring that left foot back to the floor. Give a little press into your left foot. Make sure the hips feel centered. And then slowly step your right foot in beside your left foot. Now we're gonna try and find the Goldilocks principle here. We want the feet to be not too wide, not too narrow, but right in the middle. So if you bring your hands to your hip bones, feel your hip bones on the front of the body. You might have to dig around in there a little bit. And then you want your feet to be about as wide apart as your hip bones are. So that you can think about that. Good, and then you can reach your hands towards your feet. Point your nose up at the sky. With an inhale, press into the feet and slowly start to lift the hips away from the floor. Good, coming into a version of your bridge pose. You can bring your hands to your butt, give your butt a little squeeze, and see if you can really feel those butt muscles working. You could let the hands rest on top of the thighs or the hips for a moment and just see if it feels like the legs are the same distance away from the floor, hips are the same distance away from the floor. Maybe you reach the hands back towards the heels, trying to wiggle the shoulders away from the ears. Take another big deep breath. Look for a sense of spaciousness in your low back. We want to avoid any pinching in the low back. Exhale, nice and slow, lower your hips down to the floor. 2 choices here. You can either stretch the legs out nice and long, or you can hug your knees into your chest. Pick which one feels more soothing to your body. We'll just come back to a moment of stillness in the body wherever you land. Tune back into your breath. Feeling the weight of the body pressing into the floor. Noticing how the body is feeling the legs, the trunk, the arms, the head. Most importantly, right, we're just getting to know our bodies a little bit better. We're getting connected to ourselves. Inhale, reach the arms out long overhead when you're ready. Good, with an exhale, squeeze your belly muscles down and in, hug your ribs down into the floor. Next time an exhale comes around, see if you can squeeze the belly a little tighter. Either slide the feet up in front of the hips or hug the knees all the way up into the chest. And then just try giving your body a little rock from side to side. Good, step the right foot down to the ground this time. With an inhale, stretch your left leg up towards the sky. If you're real tight, remember the knee might be quite bent. If you have a little more space, the leg might straighten. You can bring the hands to the back of the left leg, holding wherever you can reach, low or high. Remember, you can always use something else to assist you. If you had a scarf or a bathrobe tie or belt there, you can use a belt around the foot or back of the leg to help hold the leg. Finding that facilitated stretch, you press the leg into the hands or the strap and you gently press the strap, the hands back into the leg, equal and opposite pressure. Try to keep the back of the neck nice and long. Chin is tucking into the throat. So the nose is pointing roughly down towards your legs. The tip of the nose is not pointing up at the sky. Good. Release the hands from the leg. Bring your hands to rest on your belly. And slowly float that left leg all the way down to the ground. Good. Take a nice big breath here. Big inhale, fill the belly up. Exhale, draw the navel to the spine. Inhaling, keep the belly nice and strong. Slowly kick that left leg back up into the air. Try to feel your belly muscles work as the leg kicks up. Good. Keep the belly muscles squeezing down to the ground. Slowly lower your heel towards the floor. You can touch the leg down or you can keep the leg hovering. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Good. Thinking about that strong core, right? If we have a sense of strength at the core of our being, it allows us to kind of weather the challenges of life a little more easily. Maybe not a lot, but a little. In a very physical way, having a strong core helps to support the movement of the arms, the legs, the head through space. Helps support a healthy spine. Makes it easier to sit up tall, to move through the world comfortably. Keep that movement going, lifting and lowering the left leg, trying to keep the foot active, kicking out through the heel or reaching through the toes. Good. Next time your left leg lifts up into the air, you can pause. Bringing the hands to the back of the leg. Take another little stretch here, right? It might also look like this with the hands down low on the leg, pressing leg into the hands, hands back into the leg. The knee might be quite bent. We're going for a sensation more than we're going for a specific shape, looking for a sense of lengthening on the back of this leg. Sensation over shape. Good, nice and slow. Let that left leg float down to the ground, down, down, down until the heel touches. Good, maybe give your left butt cheek a little squeeze as you arrive. Really feel that sense of openness on the front of the left hip. You can bring your left hand up to the front of the hip and just take some circles over the joint. Nice little self-care technique that's taught kind of under the yoga umbrella is self-massage. You give yourself a little massage every day, circles over the joints, long strokes over long bones. You do it in 5 to 15 minutes every morning. Good. With an exhale, squeeze your right knee up into your chest. Really kick out through that left leg. You can hold the right shin or the back of the thigh, whatever feels comfortable. You're only trying to get the leg as close as feels nice. And then we'll take it into a gentle twist. With an inhale, the right arm is going to reach out to the right. With an exhale, you're slowly going to start to reach your right leg towards the left side of the mat. Pause when it feels like it's enough of a stretch or a twist for you. You can keep a little bit of squeezing, a little bit of strength in the belly to support the low back. Finding those really full breaths, trying to fill up the lungs as much as you're able to. And then a nice tight squeeze of the belly, pressing as much air out as you can. With an inhale, nice and slow, spin your body back through center, step that right foot down. Maybe give a little press into the right foot, make sure the hips feel centered. Step the left foot in beside the right. Bring your hands to your hip bones. You might have to kind of push around to find them. Good, finding the hip bones with your hands. See if you can put your feet so that they're in line with your hands and your hips, yeah? Finding a sense of your body in space without being able to see the body. It's called proprioception. Reach your hands towards your heels. Make sure your nose is pointed up at the sky. Press into the feet with an inhale, gently lift the hips. The hips could lift just an inch off the floor. That is great. They can also lift higher. As the hips lift, really tune into how your low back is feeling. We want a sense of spaciousness in the low back, no pinching in the low back. Try and wiggle your shoulders away from your ears. Spreading the toes out nice and wide. Try and press all your toes down into the ground. Take a couple really big, deep breaths. Feel that heat building in the legs, feeling that strength that it takes to hold the body up. And then exhale, nice and slow. Lower your hips back down to the ground. Good, 2 choices from here. You can either inhale to stretch the legs out nice and long, or you can exhale to squeeze the belly and hug the knees up into the chest. You choose. Coming back to those nice, full, deep breaths. Notice how the legs are feeling. How the trunk is feeling. Notice any sensations in the shoulders or the arms. If it feels nice, give your head a little turn from side to side. Bringing your nose to point back up at the sky. With an inhale, reach the arms out, nice and long overhead. Squeeze your belly down and in. Good, with your next exhale, tighten the belly a little bit more and hug your knees up and into your chest. Take a little rock of your body from side to side. Good, gently set the feet down on the ground. Walk the feet wide this time, wider than the hip bones, so that the inner edges of the feet are kind of in line with the outer edges of the hips, or just as wide as feels comfortable. Bring your hands to rest on your belly. And let there be a little bit of pressure in the hands, not a lot, but more than just resting the hands there. Good, with an inhale, you're going to reach your knees over to the right and then reach your knees away from your head. So we're twisting and lengthening. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, reach the knees over to the left, twisting and lengthening. Exhale, back through center. Gentle pressure with the hands as you take that movement side to side, reaching one side. Exhale, back through center. Reaching to the opposite side.
Good. Once you have a sense of how this movement feels in the body, you might pick up the pace a little bit. Maybe you inhale to one side and exhale to the other. See if you can let that gentle movement bring you into a nice meditative space in the mind, letting breath, body, and intention all pair together. Nice and slow. Let the legs come back through center. Now this one can be kind of intense depending on how tight the legs are. So we're just going to try it. You're going to walk the soles of the feet together and then slowly start to let the knees open out to the sides. If it's too intense, but not by a lot, you can make fists and tuck your fists right up under your hips. And sometimes that'll limit the movement a little bit. If you have blocks nearby, you could slide blocks under the legs or blankets or towels or pillows. Or if it's too much, you could try stretching the legs out mostly long and just let the toes turn out, knees turn out slightly. Seeing if we can get a little stretch for the inner legs. Another way to do it is with the legs lifted, maybe knees bent, letting the legs hang wide. Right? So the sensation we're going for here is opening on the inner legs. You find a way that that feels nice in your body. A couple big deep breaths. Good. And then when you feel like your body's gotten what you needed out of this stretch for the inner legs, if it's comfortable, you're going to stretch the legs out nice and long into that full Shavasana shape. Shavasana, that's your nice long shape with your body stretched out long on the ground. We don't have a lot of teachings about what the physical practices look like from our most ancient historical perspective. But one of them is that every posture we have in the body should be stable and comfortable. So if you stretch the legs out long and it doesn't feel stable and comfortable, keep adjusting until you find a shape that does. That could be with the knees bent and knocked together. You could lay on your belly if that's better for you. Stable and comfortable. Find a shape that feels nice. And take a big, deep cleansing breath. We're probably all familiar with setting intentions. Yoga has a special practice called a sankalpa for setting an intention. So as you rest here, if it's comfortable, bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. You can let your elbows rest on the ground so you're supported. And just take a moment to really think about here what it feels like to be in your body. Connecting to your sense of self. And then maybe you set a little intention. Maybe just for the rest of the day, for the morning, for the whole conference. A little intention about how you'd like to connect to yourself, to all the other beautiful people here, to your community, to the world around you. See if you can make it simple, just a few words, one sentence. Something like, I will be open. I will be compassionate. I will be present. Once you find your intention, take a nice big breath, like you were kind of blowing air into your intention balloon, filling that intention with spaciousness, with energy. And then repeat that intention to yourself 3 times, either out loud or in your head. Take another big cleansing breath. Let those words go. With an inhale, if it feels nice, reach the arms out nice and long. Maybe reach the legs out nice and long. Exhaling. If you're ready, squeeze your belly, hug the knees into the chest, or step the feet to the floor. Offering yourself a moment of gratitude and appreciation for your body and your practice. You could rest on your back for another moment. If it feels good to roll to the fetal position on one side, you could do that. Good. When you feel ready, if you feel ready, you can bring yourself up to a tall and comfortable seated shape. If you're not comfortable sitting on the ground, feel free to make your way all the way up to a chair. Let your shoulders relax down your back. Allowing the top of the head to lift up to the sky. With an inhale, try stretching the arms open nice and wide, inviting in the energy of the day, the energy of the conference. Good, and then drawing that energy into your heart space like you could give it a big hug. Hands could touch together or rest on the front of the chest. Take another big deep breath. Gently bowing your chin to your chest to seal your practice. Namaste. Thank you for coming, beautiful people. So I ran over by a couple minutes, which I'm very inclined to do, but it was so nice to see you. And if you have any questions, please, please, please feel free to ask. I'm so happy to answer questions. And I'll look forward to seeing you throughout the conference. And I think Katie's going to take it back over with some updates for the day.
Thank you so much, Ashley. And thank you to all of you who got up early and joined us. That was wonderful. We're going to take a brief break, but we'll be back here at 9 a.m. for our next session with Jody Flynn and Nikki Yardy. So we will see everyone soon. Thank you so much.